You'd roll out of your sleeping bag and look around because like, oh my gosh, the mountain would start out dark and just start to lighten up in mauve and peach and rose, and it would turn these colors, and all of a sudden it would just go blue. That's the beginning of the day.
Took some classes to learn how to paint, and I took them from a man named Carl Dempwolf, who's a wonderful artist. And he showed a video about a trip he took with a whole bunch of guys, all men, to Canyon de Chelly, and they had gone down and camped in the canyon, and it just captured me. And I thought, oh my gosh, I would so love to do that. So I started talking with my friends, and we took up the challenge, and we went in and we had a fabulous trip. We had some great shows of our Canyon de Chelly work, and we decided this just can't stop with this. We have to go on and paint. So we said, we need to keep painting across the country. And we came up with, well, painting across the country, that's PAC6. There's 6 of us. We're painting across the country, and we are going to paint everywhere we can, have adventures.
One of the reasons that I really am happy to be one of the PAC is that we plan these amazing trips to places that I probably would never go otherwise. Our first trip to Canyon de Chelly kind of solidified to me how important it is to have your own tribe, a group of artists that you can share your love of painting and your love of nature with. And we started talking about that after that particular trip, and realizing that we could do more as a group than we could achieve more as a group than we could achieve separately. When we decide about a trip, the places we're going to go are places that we've heard about from other artists, and they're places that we want to go to paint.
I vividly remember thinking that I wanted to go on a PAC trip to the Sierras and paint, but I didn't know if I'd ever be able to do it because I didn't know how to go about it. And I love the fact that one of us will say, why don't we do this? Or what if we did this? And everyone will go, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And then we figure out how to do it. And we do it. And I think that's counts for a lot.
The first artist to paint in the Sierras that anybody knows of was Thomas Ayres back in 1855. Within 8 or 10 years, there were more artists coming to share with the rest of the world the wonders of the Sierras and Yosemite, because it was not the easy drive it is today to get there. We've heard Thomas Moran and Albert Bierstadt. People came from all over the world to paint and show everybody, look what's in California, look at these mountains. In the 1920s, when the heyday of the California plein air movement was going on, folks like Edgar Payne, they came to the mountains and painted again, not so much as promotional tools as in the past, but just simply to share the beauty, the light, the feeling that you can't get anywhere else but in these mountains.
Edgar Payne packed in and took all of his stuff, and in those days it was even more of a big deal than it is now, but it was a pretty big deal for us.
The last time I was on a horse I was 12 and I got thrown, and that was it. I was never going to get on a horse again. So when they said, oh, we're going to pack in and we'll go on horses for 4.5 hours, and I'm thinking, I'm not doing that, but so I started preparing, and I had a friend who has a ranch, so he said, well, come and you can ride, I'll put you on a horse. 3 times I went and rode in a ring with a helmet. Okay, this was not preparation for going up into the Sierras. So we end up at the packing station, and the wrangler, who was this little petite girl, looks at all of us and she says, well, I'm trying to match riders with horses. And we all kind of look at each other and go, well, none of us are really riders. And I'm thinking, oh, this is probably going to be the end of my life right now. So she said, well, this isn't really a beginner's trail. And under her breath, I heard her say, and it's not even an intermediate trail. So now my heart's pounding out of my chest. So they had 5 horses and 1 mule. And I said, I want the mule, because I had read that mules are very sure-footed. So she gave me the mule. She could tell how nervous I was about this ride. So we start out, we're just kind of strolling along in the woods, and it's beautiful, and it's not treacherous or anything. I'm thinking, I can do this. This is not bad. This is my first trail ride ever in my whole life. Then we come out of the woods, and it's sheer rock, just slippery rock, and little tiny trails like 2 feet wide, and with a 400-foot drop off on the other side, and I just couldn't look. But somehow we made it up there, and it was worth every step, because it was just magical.
As our mule train was approaching the campsite that we were about to spend the week at, we passed by this large rock formation. Our camp is just beyond it. And it gave me a feeling of, it was a big welcome sign. Welcome to your home for the week. Welcome back home to the Sierras. Just settle in, get off your mule, and start painting.
When you're painting in plein air, you're outside, you're outdoors, and with that comes a tremendous amount of challenge compared to in the studio, where you're in complete control of the light and the air and the bugs and the timing. When you're out in the field, anything can happen. You can have a cloud blow over and change the light on the cliff you're painting, and all of a sudden the elements are so different from what your original idea was, you've lost it. So it's always a challenge of what can possibly happen. It's part of the process. But the advantage of painting on location is that you actually are spending the time to learn what you're looking at. And the more you look, the more you see. And you'll see, looking at a gray winter scene where things seem dull and boring, you'll start painting, and all of a sudden you'll see lavender or gray or ochre mixed into the gray. And you'll see these beautiful nuances that you would never see if you were just stopping and snapping a photograph or just stopping and looking for 5 minutes. But in 2 hours, you see so much more. And when you're in the studio, I often am hungering for being on location and wanting that extra information that I get when I'm actually standing there, feeling the air, the light, the wind, listening to the ocean, listening to pine trees. It all plays into the emotion that comes out in the finished painting.
I think I'm more of a studio painter, but I love being outside. And all the work that I do outside informs my studio painting. When I studied painting on the East Coast, you generally took out a large canvas and you painted more than one day in the same location, the same weather conditions, and it might take a couple years to get back to the same season to finish a painting. In California, you go out and you do a little one in an hour and a half or 2 hours, and they're more like notes for the big painting that you're going to do in the studio.
In the studio, I can do a much larger canvas, and I can take my plein-air idea and create the painting I envisioned standing there that I couldn't do quickly in 2 hours because it just takes too much time to paint that large of a piece. But I can take the elements from the plein-air painting and my memories of the moment and the feel of the day, and I can expand upon that.
I found that the lighting, the scale, the beauty of the place was so overwhelming. And when I painted it, I wasn't trying to necessarily copy exactly what was there. What I wanted to do was capture my impression of a place. So oftentimes I might change the lighting. This might not be exactly the way this scene looked, but I knew when I came out of the trail and saw it, that this is what my impression of the place was.
Painting with PAC6, we've painted different types of scenes, but in the Sierras, there were times you didn't know if you should sing or cry. You wanted to share this place with the entire world. It didn't make sense that the place wasn't overrun with people because it was unbelievable from morning till dark.
It was so much more than I thought it was going to be. You know, I'd seen lots of paintings of the Sierras, but I just had no idea how far away it all was. And it was just overwhelmingly beautiful. You know, really opened my eyes and made me think like, I think I want to explore other places that I haven't been.
I'm hoping that folks who come to see this show will come away feeling like if they've never been there before, they need to get themselves over there right away. I hope that people who maybe have lived there all their lives or have been there frequently like I have will enjoy seeing the Sierras through somebody else's eyes, from a different perspective. Much the same way I enjoyed seeing them through my PAC's eyes, through different eyes.